Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Cassandra would like to introduce you to Joy Anani, who prefers to be known as Bobby Alexandru. Well, she wouldn't like to introduce you to him, but she's going to do it anyway. Hello Cassandra, he said on Saturday. How are you doing today? Very well, thanks. How are you? Replied Cassandra. You're welcome, he said. I'm doing great. Can I have a nice chat with you, if you don't mind? He asked. If you want to, replied Cassandra the next morning. What would you like a nice chat about? Where do you live? He asked. I live in Guildford, replied Cassandra, getting confused because I actually had Denise on the go. And also near Bury St Edmunds, she said when she realised what she'd done. Where do you live? I live in San Jose, California, he said. Nice to meet you. ? Where are you asking me? She said. You sent the friend request. Well, that ought to be a statement, not a question, he said. Nice to meet you, dear, I mean. Sorry, I had to go out, she replied. I'm just making a cup of tea. OK, that's good, he said. Are you back? Good evening, she replied later. How are you doing? You haven't told me what you want to chat about, replied Cassandra. Well, I just want us to get to know each other, he said. What's your likes and dislikes? I like yogic chair dancing and intermittent illuminism, she said. I dislike auto-generated mercurialism and high-flowing alienism. What are your likes and dislikes? I like real things, he said. I like honesty, truthful, caring, and obedient person. I dislike dramas, cheating, lies, disrespect, racist, and betrayal. I want someone that will love me for me, regardless of age, distance, language barrier, cultural difference, or material purpose. Hard luck, pal, that ain't going to happen, because I do believe love knows no barriers and is the conqueror of all things. I beg your pardon, replied Cassandra. Would you care to try that again? Yes, he said. I do care to try that again. OK, replied Cassandra. Please do, because I find it hard to imagine that anyone would want to love someone who says things like that. I understand, he said. But what do you really mean? So you don't understand. Please read what you've said here, she said, copying and pasting the bit where he said, I like real things, obedient person, and rethink your choice of words, she added. OK, no, I understand, he said. I care to start that again, with you, to be honest. So please do start again, replied Cassandra. I'd love you to be honest. I'm honest, he said. I want to start again with you. OK. Yes, I think you should start again, replied Cassandra. Please study this screenshot and tell me what you think is wrong with it, she said, copying and pasting again the bit where he'd said, I like real things, obedient person. And if you can't see what is wrong with it, then it's au revoir. I will also know that you aren't a genuine American gentleman, because absolutely no gentleman anywhere would address a lady in that dreadful manner. I guess you misunderstood me, he said. I'm just trying to be honest and sincere with you. I did not misunderstand you, replied Cassandra. You typed it in black and white. As you're apparently unable to see what is wrong with that, you're definitely not the kind of man I wish to continue talking to, especially if you continue to aver that you're being honest and sincere by telling me you like obedient person. You're in 2022 America, not 1822. Sorry about that. Didn't mean typing it in black and white. OK, he said. You just meant to think it, but not say it. Are you a misogynist? She asked. Or you just think women should be seen and not heard? I think women should be heard and seen, he said. And not misogynist. OK? Then are you ever going to apologise for what you said here, or are you going to continue making pathetic excuses for what you said? She said, copying and pasting yet again the bit where he said, I like real things, obedient person. I apologise. I'm sorry, Cassandra. OK, he said. At last, replied Cassandra. Truly sorry. I know how to respect a lady, he said. I'm not sure you do, replied Cassandra, but we'll see. Why don't you tell me what you do? So far all you've told me is that you live in San Jose. Yes, San Jose, he said. I'm a marine engineer, working in facilities maintenance supervisor at Garden Reach Shipbuilders. You need to keep track of what he says he's doing, guys. Because later he's going to demonstrate that he's the epitome of that lazy attitude that many scammers seem to harbour, which is probably why most of them can't find a job. Do you work? He asked. I run the family estate, replied Cassandra. We have 70 acres of land, with a small herd of belted Galloway cattle, 4 ponies, about 30 chickens, and a small flock of Soay sheep. I also have 3 dogs and 2 cats. Your job sounds complicated. I don't really understand what it means. I have just a dog, he said. And here we go again. I'm a marine engineer. Work in sea. Oh, you said you managed the facilities, replied Cassandra. Marine, he said. Meaning, replied Cassandra. Oh, is this one of those fun word association games? Galactic. No, he said. Okay, replied Cassandra. Then why did you randomly say marine? Marine engineer, he said. Okay, this is a game of adding one word at a time. Galactic engineer. LOL, he said. You such an interesting person. Let's rewind, shall we? Replied Cassandra. You told me you were a facilities maintenance supervisor. Then you told me you're an engineer, work at sea. Which of those are you? Both of them, he said. How'd you get time to do both of those things? Because I take my job seriously. A lot, said our man, who's later going to show you that he takes it anything but seriously. And perhaps I'm on a contract currently. Perhaps, replied Cassandra. Do you mean you don't know? If you get in touch with the HR office, they'll probably tell you if you're on a contract or if they've employed you. I know what I'm doing. Okay, said our man, who had no idea what he was doing. I'm on a contract. Okay, you confused me when you said perhaps I'm on a contract. Which of those jobs are you doing now? Maintenance supervisor, he said. You're working in a shipyard, she asked. Yes, hun. Have you worked there for very long? It's going to 4 months now, said our overworked man. Oh, not very long, she replied. Where were you working before that? Well, I was working on the state before that. On the state of what? Replied Cassandra. San Jose, he said. Oh, okay. I'm not sure I understood that. What did you do in San Jose? I own a mini supermarket, he said. Just here with my children, in San Jose. So you have 3 jobs, she asked. 2 jobs, he said. Oh, you don't actually work in the supermarket, she said. I own it. I have people working under me, he said. Okay, when you're in San Jose, you don't need to work. You just watch your employees working instead. Sounds good to me. Yes, that's exactly what I do, he said. Ha ha, replied Cassandra. I have saved enough. All I need now is to take a vacation from this contract. You know, that contract he's only been on for 4 months. You've only been there for 4 months, replied Cassandra. Yes, honey. You've been there for 4 months and you want a vacation from the contract. How long does the contract last? Just go home for the weekend. It's a 6-month contract, said our scammer. So you don't need a vacation, replied Cassandra. You'll be going home in 2 months anyway. And if you're looking at the screen, you'll see that was on Thursday afternoon. Meanwhile, on Thursday morning, Cassandra was contacted by Stephen Franco, whose profile says he lives in London. Hi. Hello, he said. Hi, replied Cassandra. How far now? He said. Pardon, replied Cassandra. How was your? He said. May what? asked Cassandra. Night, he said. I see we're both friends of Bobby Alexandru, replied Cassandra. How do you know him? My good friend, he said. Where do you live? asked Cassandra. The world, he said. Okay, replied Cassandra. Are you just a time-wasting idiot? Where are you from? He asked. The universe, she said. Where do you live? Nigeria, he said. And yours? England, replied Cassandra. Where does Bobby live? She asked. I never go here home, he said. That's not what I asked you, replied Cassandra. Where does Bobby live? Can we have a video call, he said. No, replied Cassandra. Where does Bobby live? Why? He asked. Where does Bobby live? She asked. Again. Nigeria, said Stephen Franco. Interesting, replied Cassandra. Where's your home if we never go there? Guy man, he said. What? There were a few more exchanges, but by then Cassandra was talking to Bobby again, where he'd just told her that it was a 6-month contract. So you don't need a vacation, replied Cassandra. You'll be going home in 2 months anyway. Yes, I definitely will, he said. Do you have WhatsApp? No, I don't. I don't talk off on here that much, but only on WhatsApp. That's why I'm asking you. I guess we'll just have to talk when you're here, replied Cassandra. Well, it's okay, he said. How about Gmail? I only check my emails once or twice a day, replied Cassandra. Okay, no problem about that, he said. Explain to me why you need to take a vacation from work if you only have another 2 months left. Just tired, said our exhausted man. I need to be with my loved ones because I miss them so very much. That's why, especially my kids. But we talk every day. You've only been away for 4 months, replied Cassandra. You aren't a very reliable worker if you take a 6-month contract and then get tired after 4 months. You might need to rethink your attitude. LOL, I'm a diligent and reliable man. That's his nature anyway. It doesn't sound like it if you're planning to take a vacation 2 months before the end of a 6-month contract. Sounds lazy and unreliable to me. I'm not lazy, he said. You think it's easy? Who said it was easy? Replied Cassandra. It's a 6-month contract. I'd expect you to work hard. Why did you take the contract if you aren't prepared to stay till the end? Or can you take a break and then go back and finish it? How long a break will you take? A year break, he said. A year? In the middle of a 6-month contract? Please tell me that's a joke. Not joking, he said. That's the whole fact. You'll take a whole year out and go back for 2 months. I can't decide if you're lying to me or if you're just a total idiot who has no idea what he's talking about. No one anywhere ever allows someone to take 12 months, 12 whole months out of a 6-month contract. So either stop lying, grow up, or admit you're an unemployed layabout, because no one anywhere would employ a lazy, lying moron like you. Goodbye. What the hell are you saying? He said. Please read what I said, replied Cassandra. No one takes 12 months out of a 6-month contract, so you're either A, an idiot, B, a liar, C, both of the above. He tried calling her, but she couldn't hear him. Stop playing stupid games, she said when she'd cut the call. What games are you talking about? He said. I couldn't hear anything when I called. I don't believe you, replied Cassandra. And you talked, did you? I talk. Did you hear my voice? He said. No, I didn't, replied Cassandra. And I'd love to continue this riveting tale, but unfortunately for him, unfortunately for you, his fake account was deleted from Facebook at this point. But in case you're feeling cheated, Cassandra would also like to bring you the very short tale of Perry Derrick. Hello, he said. Good evening, replied Cassandra. And then, for good measure, he said, Omo Oro, how are you doing today? What? Replied Cassandra. And where are you from? He asked. What on earth was that first thing you typed? Replied Cassandra. Oh, sorry, it was a mistake, he said. I presume he'd typed that instead of LIE to see whether she was a fellow scammer. Where are you from, and how are you doing today? A mistake, cried Cassandra. I'm very well, thanks. Omo was a maker of washing powder when I was a child. Okay, glad to hear that, he said. Where are you from? I live near Bury St Edmunds in Suffolk. Oh, really? He said, in reply to her telling him that Omo was a maker of washing powder when she was a child. What state? He asked. What do you mean? Replied Cassandra. What state are you from? Oh, I see. We don't have states in England, we have counties. Where do you live? Okay. Country are you from? I just told you, replied Cassandra. Where do you live? I'm from Houston, Texas. What country are you from? I told you, replied Cassandra. Again. Oh, sorry, he said. So what are you looking on here? Do you still want to get married again? Pardon? Replied Cassandra. No, I don't. And how old are you? And, oh, really? Why do you want to remain single for life? And what do you do for a living? Who said I did? And why is it any of your business? Replied Cassandra. I don't even know you. Are you that desperate that you contact random ladies on Facebook? How sad. No, I'm not, he said. I'm only trying to know more about you. So you contact random ladies on Facebook that you know nothing about and ask them, do you want to remain single for life, and then claim you aren't desperate. No, okay, I'm sorry about that. I told you, I'm only trying to know more about you. You have a very strange way of trying to know more about someone, replied Cassandra. Oh, really? But why do you think that? You're kidding me, right? she replied. "You randomly contact me and ask, do you want to remain single for life? And you don't think that's strange? I'd call it more than strange. Weird and perverted." "Sorry for that," he said. "Thank you," replied Cassandra. "You're welcome. Good morning, dear. How was your night? And how are you doing this morning? Oh, it's you, the pervert." "Yes," he said. "How are you doing today?" "Goodbye," replied Cassandra. "I have no interest in talking to a pervert." "All right," he said, and disappeared. And finally, a shameless plug for my 2 books. The first one is about Denise. Not the feisty Denise you know from these videos, but about a little old lady who was taken in by a romance scammer. In fact, taken in by our old friend Alistair Ledsley. If you don't remember him, he was going to send Denise diamond rings. In this book, the scam just goes completely over Denise's head because she has no idea what's happening to her. And the second book is about Serafina. Again, not the feisty version of Serafina that you know from these videos, but Serafina who was taken in by a scammer who was pretending to be a musician that she believed she'd known in her childhood. Serafina did start to realise what was happening to her and got dragged down by the scammer. They're both available on Amazon, on Kindle, or in some countries in paperback, and I'll leave the link in the description box below this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, please share it with your friends, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel, please head over to Amazon and buy the books, and I'll see you again in another video.